name is Cindy Burleson, and I'm chairman of the International Sibling Society, where I have the privilege here today to welcome you to SDGs Explained, a podcast where we explore the 17 Global Sustainable Development Goals and how people in over 190 countries are working together to make life better on the planet for all life, both above and below the water. The 17 Sustainable Development Goals are a universal call to action to end poverty, protect the planet, and ensure peace and prosperity for all, addressing key challenges such as poverty, hunger, health, education, gender equality, clean water and sanitation, affordable and clean energy, decent work, economic growth, industry innovation and infrastructure, reduced inequalities, sustainable cities and communities, responsible consumption, production, climate action, life below water, life on land, peace and justice, and strong institutions. In this series, you'll learn a lot more about the Global Sustainable Development Goals. But if you're curious and you want to know more now, check out the SDGs Explained trailer and bonus features found in the same place where you found our podcast here today. You can also find the International Sibling Society and the SDGs Explained series on YouTube. We urge you to take time to look us up on YouTube and subscribe to our channel. Indeed, we need your support to get our messages out through the algorithms so everyone, everywhere around the planet can hear it and share with all of us how they're working to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals in their part of the world. It only takes one click. Hit the subscribe button and let's get YouTube on our side. Speaking of YouTube, if you visited our website, issnow.earth, you'll see that the International Sibling Society is in the middle of a huge public watch hour drive. Today, we invite you to look at our playlist on YouTube and pick your playlist and watch the videos from the start to the finish, so that our public view hours soar and we move to the next stage in YouTubeology, where YouTube algorithms kick in and help us spread the message of Sustainable Development Goals. We encourage you to navigate to us, be a part of our global community, and visit issnow.earth, where you can tell us who you are and what you're doing in your part of the world to move us closer to the Sustainable Development Goals. You can be a guest on our show. We're here to support you. Speaking of support, the International Sibling Society wants to be the first to encourage you to assume your own role in the world of diplomacy. We encourage you to pursue a career in foreign service in your home country. Research the requirements, and you'll soon be on your way to an exciting, rewarding career where you can truly make a difference for all of us living on the planet. Most countries require some form of testing to enter foreign service. In my country, the United States, all inspiring foreign service officers are required to take a written Foreign Service Officer test, the FSOT for short. After taking the FSOT, the next step for Americans is the Qualification Evaluation Panel. The Qualification Evaluation Panel review looks at the total candidate to rank all the candidates in a given career track. The number of candidates invited to the next stage of oral assessment depends largely on the United States Department's anticipated hiring needs and budget. What is the process in your country? Let us know in the comments. Whatever the requirements are in your country, to help prepare you for the road ahead, seeing how we all live on one planet, the International Sibling Society has prepared a comprehensive study guide to help you ace any essay portion on any of your exams that you're required to take. The name of the study guide is simple. It's Launch Your Foreign Service Career and Ace the Foreign Service Officer Test. You can find Launch Your Foreign Service Career and Ace the Foreign Service Officer Test anywhere you buy books. But we understand books are heavier to carry than they used to be, and that you likely prefer a lighter, more portable digital or audio version. Look no further. Audiobooks and ebooks are available too. Just search for them by name on your favorite platform. The International Sibling Society Global Test Prep Series Launch your foreign service career and ace the Foreign Service Officer test. In this guide, you will find 20 sample essays covering a wide range of writing prompts that could be included in any Foreign Service Officer test, regardless of the country that you're testing in or what the testing format is. We have carefully curated these essays to provide you with a diverse set of topics, ensuring that you're well prepared for any challenges that come your way. From these essays, you'll learn how to effectively structure and develop your responses to impress evaluators. Whether you're facing a written or oral exam, our study guide will equip you with the necessary skills to tackle any essay prompts with confidence. You will learn how to analyze the question, generate compelling arguments, and communicate your ideas with clarity and precision. At the International Sibling Society, we understand the importance of acing the Foreign Service Officer test. Aspiring Foreign Service Officers need to demonstrate their ability to think critically, analyze complex issues, and communicate effectively. Our study guide is designed to help you master these skills, ensuring that you stand out from the competition. Don't leave your success on the Foreign Service Officer test to chance. With our study guide, you can confidently approach any essay prompt that comes your way. Get ready to showcase your knowledge, skills, and passion for diplomacy in our comprehensive collection of sample essays. Start your journey towards becoming a Foreign Service Officer today. Order your copy of our study guide and unlock your full potential on the Foreign Service Officer test. Your dream career is within reach. Let us help you make it a reality. So I ask you, are you ready to take your Foreign Service Officer test preparation to the next level? Then let's get started. In today's podcast, we're going to evaluate the challenges and opportunities of bilateral trade agreements in the 21st century. Let's first evaluate the challenges and opportunities of bilateral trade agreements in the 21st century through the lens of Sustainable Development Goals, beginning with Sustainable Development Goal number 17, which is Partnerships for the Goals. Sustainable Development Goal 17 aligns with the target of enhancing global macroeconomic stability, including through policy coordination and policy coherence, which includes the promotion of a universal rules-based, open, non-discriminatory, and equitable multilateral trading system under the World Trade Organization. Bilateral trade agreements also closely relate to Sustainable Development Goal number 8. Sustainable Development Goal number 8 focuses on the decent work and economic growth indicator, which advocates for promoting inclusive and sustainable economic growth, employment, and decent work for all. Bilateral trade agreements can impact economic growth, labor markets, and work conditions in the participating countries. Additionally, these agreements can have implications for Sustainable Development Goal number 10. Sustainable Development Goal number 10 focuses on reduced inequalities, as bilateral trade agreements can either help reduce inequalities within and among countries by creating opportunities for inclusive trade, or bilateral trade agreements can increase inequalities if not managed carefully. Trade agreements also often intersect with Sustainable Development Goal number 12. Sustainable Development Goal number 12 focuses on responsible consumption and production, as bilateral trade agreements can include provisions that affect sustainable production practices and environmental standards. Understanding the complexity of trade agreements and their broad implications is essential, as they can influence multiple aspects of sustainable development. Well, knowing this, how should we respond on a written test or an oral exam, or better yet, in the real world of international diplomacy, if we were asked to evaluate the challenges and opportunities of bilateral trade agreements in the 21st century? Well, perhaps that response could look or sound like this. Title: Challenges and Opportunities of Bilateral Trade Agreements in the 21st Century. Bilateral trade agreements, often referred to as free trade agreements, or FTAs, have been a prominent feature of international commerce in the 21st century. These agreements involve two nations to aim to liberalize trade by reducing tariffs, eliminating trade barriers, and promoting economic cooperation. While bilateral trade agreements offer opportunities for economic growth and enhance trade relations, they also present a range of challenges that need to be carefully evaluated. This essay will analyze both the opportunities and challenges associated with bilateral trade agreements in the contemporary global context. Opportunities of bilateral trade agreements. Number one, economic growth. One of the primary advantages of bilateral trade agreements is their potential to stimulate economic growth. By reducing trade barriers, these agreements can increase market assets for businesses in both countries, leading to greater trade volumes and economic expansion. Number two, trade diversification. Bilateral trade agreements allow countries to diversify their trading partners beyond multilateral agreements like the World Trade Organization, also known as WTO. This diversification can reduce a nation's dependence on a single market and enhance its economic resilience. Number three, customization. Bilateral agreements provide the flexibility to tailor trade rules to the specific needs and circumstances of the countries involved. This customization can lead to more mutually beneficial outcomes and address unique trade issues. Number four, political cooperation. Beyond economic benefits, bilateral trade agreements can foster closer political cooperation and diplomatic ties between nations. Shared economic interest can create incentives for nations to collaborate on various fronts, from security to environmental issues. Well, now let's take a look at the challenges of bilateral trade agreements. Number one, complex negotiations. Bilateral trade agreements are often complex and time-consuming to negotiate. Negotiating parties must reconcile their divergent interests, leading to prolonged and challenging discussions. Number two, trade imbalances. If not carefully crafted, bilateral trade agreements can result in trade imbalances where one country benefits disproportionately. This can lead to economic tensions and disputes between parties. Three, loss of multilateral focus. Bilateral agreements can divert attention and resources away from multilateral trade negotiations, potentially weakening the broader global trading system. Number three, loss of multilateral focus. Bilateral agreements can divert attention and resources away from multilateral trade negotiations, potentially weakening the broader global trading system. Number four, regulatory harmonization. Achieving regulatory harmonization between countries can be a significant hurdle in bilateral agreements. Differences in standards, regulations, and legal systems can impede trade and investment. Number five, political sensitivities. Certain industries and sectors may be politically sensitive, making negotiations challenging. These sensitivities can lead to protectionist measures and the exclusion of certain sectors from trade liberalization. Number six, dependency risk. Relying heavily on bilateral trade agreements can make countries vulnerable to the political whims and policy changes of their trade partners. Over reliance on a single market can be risky in times of political instability. As countries continue to explore bilateral trade agreements, offer both opportunities and challenges for participating nations. While they can stimulate economic growth, diversity trade, relationships, and promote political cooperation, they also require careful negotiation, risk management, and attention to potential imbalances. As countries continue to explore bilateral trade agreements as a means to achieve their economic strategic objectives, a nuanced understanding of these agreements' complexities is crucial to harness the benefits effectively while mitigating their challenges. Ultimately, the success of bilateral trade agreements hinges on the ability of nations to strike a balance between advancing their interest and fostering mutual, beneficial relationships with their trading partners. Well, how would you evaluate this response? If you were scoring this essay or interviewing a Foreign Service Officer candidate speaking these words, let us know in the comments section or visit our website, issnow.earth, or email us directly at diplomaticoffice@issnow.earth. That's DIPLOMATICOFFICE at ISSNOW.EARTH, diplomatic office at issnow.earth. Let's hear from you soon. What could you add to our exploration of free trade and trade agreements? Be a guest on our show. As we wrap up today's episode of SDGs Explained, I want to thank you, our listeners, for joining us on this journey through the complexities and inspirations of the Sustainable Development Goals. Your engagement and curiosity are what drive this conversation forward, making a better future possible for all life on our planet. Remember, the International Sibling Society is more than just a podcast. It's a movement where your voice, your actions, and your commitment to sustainable development goals can truly make a difference. Whether it's by subscribing to our YouTube channel, sharing your stories on our website, or considering a career in diplomacy, every step you take is a stride towards a more sustainable, peaceful, and prosperous world. As your host, Cindy Burleson, Chairman of the International Sibling Society, I'm here to remind you that change starts with us. It starts with the choices that we make, the conversations we have, and the actions we take. So let's continue to educate ourselves, inspire each other, and work collectively towards the goals that unite us. Before we conclude, I'd like to encourage you to explore our comprehensive study guide, Launch Your Foreign Service Career, and ACE the Foreign Service Officer Test. This resource is not just a tool for exam preparation. It's a gateway to understanding the intricacies of global diplomacy and the significant role it plays in resolving contemporary international conflicts. So as you move forward in your day, think about how you can contribute to the Sustainable Development Goals in your own unique way. And when you're ready to take your commitment to the next level, remember, the International Sibling Society and the SDGs Explained podcast are here to guide, support, and empower you. Thank you once again for tuning in. Join us next time as we continue to explore, understand, and contribute to the Sustainable Development Goals. Together, let's shape a future that we can all be proud of. Until then, keep striving for a sustainable world, one goal at a time.